Hey, just a couple of minutes here. I'm trying to figure this out. I was hoping to get this to work on my laptop, but apparently I haven't taken care of the necessary preparation to make that happen. But what do you do? So I'm hoping that I can actually see this from my laptop so I can fix a setting. By the way, how are all of you doing? I hope you have had a fantastic weekend. Got six people that have already joined up. That is awesome. Hey, Tumbleweed. It's great to have you join. One of the reasons why I wanted to have. Hey, Pia. Or Paya. One of the reasons why I wanted to do this on the laptop is because it's easier to see chat. But that's okay. I can manage either way. And it's Ramblin' Rome. How you doing, buddy? That's right the first time. Good. I'm glad. Okay. Interesting. I can't see it from the Creator Studio, but I can see it from my channel. I will never figure out technology. And I used to work in the field. Anyway, it's glad to have you all here. I originally did have a topic of discussion in mind. 225. Wow, you are up late to see this live stream. I feel honored. So thank you for joining. I originally was going to want to have a specific topic in mind, but then I forgot to mention it. So, what can I say? I decided just to go with an open chat platform. I decided to do more live chats because all of you seem to enjoy them. And honestly, I wasn't sure what people might think the first time I decided to do a live chat when I was in Madras. So I like the idea of being able to interact with all of you more. I was going to do it in the van, but I right now my current what do you call those things? Power converter, I guess, doesn't work so well for my laptop. So I'm gonna have to fix that issue. You did make it, Van Dweller, Chris. And hey, Paula, I am glad that both of you are able to make it. Pia, why does Deborah Joy need to sell Tank? I must be missing something here. I know I see a smiley face. I don't know if that was a joke or not. And by the way, natural cancer healing person, lady, friend of mine, I want to thank you for all of your very useful information, some of which I think I knew already, but then there's a lot of information that you've provided that I did not know, like how dangerous gluten really is. Is that trucker language? I don't know what that is. 17 people now. This is fantastic. A Kiwi, Daisy. How you doing, Daisy? Nice to have you here. Oh, I see. I guess I need to catch up on a couple of her videos. I am definitely not always on par with timing on everybody's videos, especially if I'm out camping and traveling for a week. Of course, I worked 3 days last week, but that's irrelevant. Um, is that right? Hmm, interesting. Hey, Tammy. Nice to have you join us. Hey, Jeep Things. What is up, Johnny? How you doing? It's nice to have you joining here. I need to catch up on your videos too, by the way. I have been very bad when it comes to watching videos lately, let alone trying to keep up with my own. I've got still, I think, one or two videos. I have not decided on whether I wanted to. It's good to see you too, Johnny. I haven't decided whether I want to do the driving video or capture footage, which is fantastic footage, of driving from Oregon, Eastern Oregon, to back up to Washington, if I wanted to keep that separate from the second day in Madras. I guess it depends on how long that is by itself. And of course, I've got at least one video for my camping trip from this weekend. So definitely got a little bit of work cut out. And then on top of that, I've got a couple more upper cabinets to build, so there'll be more videos, hopefully, on that. Es suspical. How you doing, Jan? Uh-oh. There we go. Sorry, I'm totally, when it comes to cell phones, I feel like a 60-year-old sometimes. And actually, I should take that back. 60-year-olds can use cell phones too. I gotta be politically correct now. By the way, I do not like political correctness. I think it's a joke. Storage unit is, I've actually got a few things in there that I have on Let Go. I think that's the name of the app. And been talking to somebody who wants to purchase one of those items. It happens to be a collector Coca-Cola uh, barbecue set. It's really nice. Most of it, it's for the most part, it's been in the box. I mean, I haven't opened the barbecue, and it's been in the box the entire time. And anyway, there's a guy that I'm talking to about that. I've been so busy, I haven't been able to take more pictures like he's asked me to. So I may or may not have sold that product. But otherwise, I've got my full-size bed uh, from my apartment way back when that I have yet to get rid of, and I'm kind of saving it for a friend of mine who really wants it but doesn't have the space until they get rid of some stuff. And I'm like, I don't know how long I want to hold on to that. But my brother's using the storage unit. So while I still have a few items in there that I'm selling or at least getting rid of to friends and family, uh, my brother's using it so that way uh, he can, you know, get through his situation. And then once he gets all of his stuff out, it's gone, going away. So it feels pretty good. Hey Rick, you made it. I'm glad to hear it. My good friend from Cebu, if I remember, I think that's how you pronounce it. And yes, the van bill, Pia. I guess I kind of mentioned part of it. Oh, sorry guys. I'm going to be working on the upper cabinet. It's going to be a very narrow cabinet, by the way. So this will be interesting. Um, but I'm going to be working on an upper cabinet that's directly across from the first one that I showed in my van tour video. And the nice thing about that one is it's going to be much shorter, so much easier to get in the van. And then the very rear upper cabinet is going to be super easy because I think I'm just going to use a couple of fillers, and I'll explain more on how this works. It's something that I've learned from the company that I work for. Um, yeah, I don't know anybody who wants to buy a tank. It's a nice van though. Um, but basically, you can use a filler to connect two cabinets together, and it typically lowers but I thought it might be a pretty cool method to be able to connect upper cabinets. Um, let's see. There's actually, I think there's 24 watching right now. I could be wrong, but I think that's what it shows. 25 now, which is, I think that's better than the last time I did it, and maybe that's because there's a heads up now. Uh, let's see here. Natural cancer healing. She asks, how hard do you find it to let stuff go? I'm wanting to come back to the USA to go on the road with my best buddy, and we'll have to leave everything behind. That's a great question. Uh, hey, Shabby, nice to have you join. There's I think there's a couple of questions here. And hey, Margaret, Modrovsky. I love that last name, Modrovsky. Uh, nice to have you joining. So that's a great question because for the longest time, when it came to, and I think one advantage to having a storage unit was I didn't have to get rid of everything right away. It sounds like your situation is a little bit different to where you would have to get rid of everything right away. I honestly am not sure how well I would be able to do that. And I suppose, I mean, like, this is one of those situations where one might think, okay, if there's a fire and I can only take a couple of things, then I have to get out. That's just how one would have to look at it. And I mean, I've been blessed so far not to have to have that sort of situation, but you know, it's easier now for me to let things go. But when I first started getting rid of stuff out of my storage unit, it took me like 2 hours just to get rid of one box of stuff, and they were like little things. Um, I think they were little things. It was like, oh no, I guess I started out with some bigger things. I'd have to go back and look, but it does help a little bit to be able to get rid of like furniture first, because then at least it gets the motivation going to get rid of the rest of it. And I think also recording it, because I talked about this in one of my videos, recording it. And I'm sorry, I'll give to the some of the chat messages here, and once I kind of answer this question, that's the best I can. But I found that videotaping the process of getting rid of stuff to make things much better. Uh, and the reason why is because I could actually go back and watch what I was doing. And then I actually, while watching it, I'm like, well, wait a second here. Why did I let that item go? And I could have gotten rid of that one. Why did I have such a hard time with that? And so it really helps program well, not maybe program, but it helps convince one mentally by rewatching the actions and the decisions that were being made. And it takes longer that way, but it makes such a big difference. It really does. And now, I hope that answers your question, because it sure seemed to help me out. Let's see, I need to go back up to my messages, and it's quite a stroll up. And we're up to 29 people. That is fantastic, guys. Thank you for joining in. 30 people. I really appreciate all of you taking all your time out of your busy schedules just to watch humble little me. Hey, Suze. I want to say hello to you as well. Thank you for joining. Same with Shiloh. I remembered. I remember you also mentioned that I pronounced it correct the first time as well. And I think I said hi to Shabby already, but I'll say hello again. And then the great WKZZR Productions. Yes, and great videos, by the way, if you're into his style. I don't remember if I've subscribed. If I haven't, I'll have to subscribe to your channel because I do enjoy some of your videos. Uh, let's see. Oh, Shabby's trying to coerce Deborah's large gathering to surround me and with their pitchforks and their lampstands and ready to take battle. And I'm the one man. I've got my body armor and well, I guess a headset, which does absolutely no good right here because this is on a phone. But hey, gotta start somewhere. Let's see. That's a good idea. I was thinking about it. About if something happened. What exactly? Yeah, yeah. It is a big motivator to think. Okay, in this situation, fire, for example, or earthquake, or whatever. What's really important to me, and what can I replace? And I think that's the biggest thing. And did I enjoy my camp trip? I did. And although I was asked to work yesterday, so I did have to break away from my camping trip. I was able to, camp out overnight, and then I had to go to work, which wasn't a big deal because I was gonna have to use up some vacation time. So from my Madras trip, so I don't have to use as much vacation time up anymore. So I still have a large pool that I have saved up for whenever I decide to go on another journey, which I might be doing again because that Madras thing really kind of gave me the itch. Let's see. Thanks, Jeep Things. Yeah, I'm humbled by uh, the fact that I think I have just under 1,400 subscribers now, and it just baffles me. It feels like just yesterday I even reached 1,000. Yeah, I'm two away. I'm just completely baffled by it. Um, and Paula does have a good point. I mean, everything can be replaced. And I would actually say that maybe not everything, but just about. And that's an important thing to remember. Um, Obviously, being able to fulfill one's goals, one's bucket list, one's dreams is important, and material possessions can oftentimes take us away from that, and that's something that I've learned to realize. Um, I've still got a little ways to go because I have some stuff in my bedroom that I rent out, and also my van has some, not much in there right now, but it does have some stuff in there. So it's important, and I think it takes us away from the real value of life. And you know, at a certain point, I personally have to ask myself, what is really necessary, and what of these things that I own am I simply idolizing? Because that's something that I have to take seriously. I don't want to idolize anything or anyone other than my creator, of course. Uh, Now, ask me how well I do that. Well, that's a whole other discussion. Let's see. The great KAZ. Howdy. Well, hello to you as well. Uh, let's see. 36 people right now. Man, this is incredible. Let's see. And then Pallavi said also, if you had something in a box or shelf and not touching it. Yes, in 12 months, you probably don't need it. That's very true. Uh, yeah, if you haven't, I mean, I would almost argue if you haven't used it in 6 months, you probably don't need it. But I can understand the 1 year rule because sometimes there are things you don't need throughout the winter, for example. So I kind of get that. Um, let's see. Hey, Nancy. It's great to have you joining us as well. This is this is a lot of fun. I'm actually rather enjoying these live feeds. I listen to talk radio while I'm working because I'm a fun personality like that. And I don't know, for some reason, I feel like I've got my own radio show right now. So this is pretty fun. I have a, the funny thing is, I actually have a professional microphone that's of a studio quality. And if I were to purchase a USB mixer and actually prep my go through the proper notions of getting my laptop set up to be able to do the live streams, I could actually make this place look like a radio station. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But maybe for another day. Maybe the next live chat. You never know. Let's see. We do creep way too much unnecessary crap. You know, Margaret, I really appreciate you going through the extra effort to finish your dishes earlier than usual, just to wash somebody with a chin strap. I greatly appreciate that. Let's see. I'm sure I'm still way behind. I'm trying to go through them carefully because I appreciate what each and everybody has to say. Let's see. Yeah, that's very true. I've what Paula said about finding more joy out of giving stuff away. I must have given away at least $20,000 worth of stuff, which really showed me how much time, how much money I've wasted over the years. I mean, granted, this is over a period of, well, most of my life, but still, $20,000, that buys a lot of food for the hungry. Oh, let's see. Hey, Lorraine, is that it? Lorraine? Yes, I think that's it. Hey, Lorraine, I'm doing well, and hugs from the U.S. to Australia. I'm a huggy guy, so I appreciate every hug I get, even if it's just a text. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna have to probably scroll through things a little bit faster. Some people are having their own conversation. I think that's fantastic. I mean, that's really what this is about, being able to help each other with advice and whatnot. And I'm just here to kind of, I don't know, be a pretty face. Let's see. Yeah, Jessica brings up a good point too. I mean, I think it was already mentioned. By the way, hi Jessica. It's nice to have you join. And don't worry, I do plan, because you asked so kindly, I do plan on getting some more karaoke videos for you. Probably from an actual karaoke bar rather than just a friend's small living room. I think that would be more fitting, if you will. So you can look forward to this. Plus, typically a karaoke bar will have more of a selection than what I have in my own personal collection. But I think she made a good point, do what makes you happy. Although I would say, do what gives you purpose. Of course, then that would bring up the question of what is the purpose of life? And that is probably at least a 2 or 3 hour discussion. And that's without even going on a tangent. And we've got the famous Ford Van Man. How you doing, buddy? You don't have to pretend you're getting old. I will say this though, Ford Van Man. You have a young man's voice, and that's not a bad thing. That's actually a very good thing. Because I've been told, like, if I'm in a conversation with somebody and they happen to ask me how old I am, and I tell them, they're like, "Well, I thought you were about 10 years older." And sometimes it's because of my voice. I'm like, well, okay, got to learn to accept that, which it doesn't bother me. I think it's actually kind of entertaining. Okay. And okay, look at everybody. I know I'm a little behind by about, according to this timestamp, 5 minutes, but we have an anti-conformist in here. How you doing, buddy? And Janine's in the house, so we can't talk about her. So sorry, just can't do it. So everybody stop talking about Janine. And my hair too. It's only, yeah, I might be chopping a couple of feet off, but that's just because there are some children with cancer that can use it a lot more than me. I just grow it so I can give it away. But it will grow again. I mean, if I take good care of it, which sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, it can grow as much as as an inch in a month. And and thank you, Jessica. I don't know if I would consider myself as the best, but I want to be the best that I possibly can be. Not necessarily to my own perspective, but what the best of what brings out the purpose that I was designed for. Um, Sometimes I'm not very good at that, I'll be honest with you. Okay, let's see. Actually, I think so. Here's the thing. Now, Tumbleweed, about 4 minutes ago, I'm getting down there on my lag time here, but Tumbleweed says Wookie, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, right now I am deep within the bowels of the cave in which where Van Baca resides, and I think he's asleep right now, so I can't be too loud. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Anyway, Janine, I'm doing good. I hope you're doing well. Uh, how's the van thing coming for you? I hope your van situation or whatever you have going for you, I hope that's going well for you. Uh, yeah, I see. Natural Cancer Healing says we all join in half the fun. And actually, by the looks of it, uh, you're all, I'm just here to basically, well, I'm here to answer questions or just be a part of the conversation. Basically, the live feed for me is an opportunity to converse with my subscriber family. But I mean, it looks like you've got two or three different conversations of your own. So I think that's fantastic. Um, Now, Pia, by calling me a sweet gentleman, that might be ruining my reputation. So I just thought I'd let you know. Just be careful, because some people really know how I am. And so for you to tell them that I'm a gentleman, I'm just kidding. I appreciate the compliment, though. I have thought, Jan, about doing podcasts. The question would be, what do I want to podcast about? And there are several things I could. Obviously, there's the frustration with the political world, but I don't want to bring that into the YouTube channel because that brings a lot of controversy between people's beliefs and whatnot. But if I were to be able to make a way see a way of a neutral perspective where everybody can kind of come together on, then I might actually do it. But not necessarily on this channel. But I think a great way might be through a podcast. There's also looking at things from the spiritual aspect of life, doing podcasts about that, or just about life in general. Of course, at 32 years old, one might question how much of life I really have to offer. Let's see. And to answer your question, great KAZ, I am from the state of Washington. Let's see. So how does it make you feel, Ford Van Man, to know that your son is around my age? Okay. Yeah, my ego is definitely getting bigger. Actually, in all honesty, and I should probably just go, let's see. I've basically gone to the bottom of, or to the very most recent, and trying to see how far off I am as far as uh, relative how far off I am to the conversation, and it actually looks like I'm not too far off. But so Janine made the joke, and I'm pretty sure it's a joke because, well, I just hope that it's a joke, that my ego is getting bigger, and I guess in the from the aspect of human nature, it would be. However, I know it was a joke, but I do find that I was thinking about this the other day. Back when I had 50 subscribers, and I made that video on it. I was thinking back on it. I didn't actually watch it, but I was thinking back on it. And I think I feel just about as humble about just under 1,400 subscribers as I do with 50 subscribers. And take care, Shiloh. Appreciate it. Or was it Shabby that's leaving? I guess I didn't notice. Hey, Nighthawk. It's nice to see you, buddy. Um, by the way, if Nighthawk, uh, if you're still listening here, if you could text me again, that'd be great because something happened to my old phone, so I haven't been able to get a hold of you. Um, but it's interesting because I find I almost feel like I'm more humble now, realizing that 1,400 of you actually want to invest a little piece of your life into mine. And self-confidence is a whole nother story. I'm a fairly confident guy. Not enough to necessarily call myself cocky, but yeah, there's definitely a lot of that. Let's see. I do have a chat room going. This is actually pretty fantastic. Hey Jeff, how you doing, bud? I'm glad you're able to make it. I hope I gave you enough notice, and I definitely wanted to keep it in the evening time. Although on a Sunday that looks more like almost, well, I guess if you're on the East Coast, 9 o'clock is still evening, and if you're in Cebu, it's morning time. And so the fact that I've got people that are willing to get up a little extra earlier or stay up later just to watch a live feed from someone like myself, I think it's absolutely humbling, as I mentioned earlier. Uh, you're right, KAZ. And I apologize because I was going to, hey Debbie, it's nice to have you here. And take care, Nighthawk. Um, Not just the people in Texas. I actually was going to want to open up a prayer, and I totally spaced it because I was trying to figure out how to take care of the laptop. But I think it is absolutely important that we do keep the people due to the hurricane in Texas. Keep them in thoughts and prayer, and also the people that the couple that I guess the husband died and the wife was in critical condition. Um, One person mentioned it, I think Kathy. Someone mentioned it on one of my videos, but definitely have them in thoughts and prayers. Uh, I know it's kind of ironic to call myself houseless on wheels, and I live in a house, but it's the naming scheme. It's the name based on the purpose, the overall purpose, and that is to have no house. But it's all a progression. That I might have to make a road trip to South Florida one day, Jessica. Maybe. And Jeep Things, I remember subscribing to your channel back when you had, I think, 23 subscribers. I think I was your 24th subscriber. And I know I've been praying for the people in Texas, the woman that's in critical condition from being hit by a drunk driver, which is kind of a uh, that sort of situations. I actually have a lot of passion for personal reasons, but maybe I can go into that another day. But you know, these hurricanes are serious business, and while some people consider it as reason to believe that global warming is about to happen, I still don't see the evidence. But it's still just as dangerous whether you believe in global warming or not. Let's see. Yes, Road Warrior. That's it. Thank you, Debbie. Um, and Nana, it's nice to see you. Let's see. And that is a good point, Jan. Your house is your Class C. My house will be a van. Well, although it's not really a house, it's a home, but it's not a house necessarily. Let's see. Sorry, I'm just trying to get I'm just trying to catch up a little bit. Hey, is it Mikala? 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 I'm terrible. I am known for mispronouncing names, even after I've been corrected. So, but oh, you're interested in what got me into van life. I do plan on going full time on the van life thing, and I do kind of mention it. I keep on zooming. I don't know why I keep on zooming. I'm not supposed to be able to do that from this front-facing camera. Um, but I kind of go into why. And by the way, thank you for joining. I appreciate you doing so, and I'm glad you enjoy the channel. Um, but Mikala, the reason I kind of go into it in one of my other videos, but in fact, I think it was my first questions and answers video. Uh, but the main reason, I kind of give a list of 5 reasons, and the fifth reason, like the least to consider of the 5, although still an important value, if you will, was freedom. And I kind of wanted, that was actually going to be a topic of discussion I wanted to bring up for this video or for this live stream. But I think I'm going to save it for next live stream. What does it mean to be free? And I am sweating like a hog. Of course, yeah, anyway. But the main reason was to be able to give back more. Because one of my passions is being able to feed those who are starving around the world. And for example, there is one particular nonprofit organization called Food for the Poor, and 96% of all money donated to them goes directly to the people. And I think it's like $78 can actually provide 1,000 meals or something. It's some crazy number like that because the food's already provided. They just need a way to ship it, and and that's the main reason. You know, I don't pay a really high amount for rent, especially in an area like where I live. But you know, the money that I do pay, you know, if that can provide a lot of meals, and I could do that on a monthly basis if I lived in my van. That's the main reason. There are other reasons that I could, but we'll talk about that another time. And hello, Cassie. Nice to have you here. The smoke from the wildfires up in Washington have, for the most part, cleared. Uh, and I'm I'm grateful that the smoke cleared, but more importantly, I'm glad that the wildfires are in better control. If not, I don't know if they're completely out yet, but I'm glad they're at least in better containment because I know that up in Canada they were having a very difficult time even getting to 5% containment. And yeah, it was a pretty ugly situation up there. So trying to get back to my inability to keep up with the chat because I can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time at times. And I think Rick has already, from Cebu, has already taken off, but I do want to say goodbye anyway, just in case you happen to watch more of the live feed later. So take care. Hello, Ava. It's nice to have you join in on the live chat. Let's see. And I think you're right, Jessica. Any accident, especially those which involve bodily injury, let alone um, taking one's life, I think all show how fragile life is, but more importantly, how precious it is. How just one slight decision by someone who one has absolutely no control and may not even be aware of their existence makes. And just one little decision can make all the world of a difference and change. Let's see. 48 watching now. You're right, natural cancer healing. That is it's humbling. It's just an awesome thing. I don't think I've ever been in a live feed where 48 people have watched. And I've been on quite a few people's, so this is pretty exciting to me. And I have all of you to thank for that. Because, I'm no mathematician, but I do understand that without all of you, there's not as much of a channel for me, if any. So I appreciate each and every one of you for joining this and also for subscribing to my channel. It's just a great thing. And hello, Maggie. How are you doing? And I'm glad you were able to make it to the live chat here. I have no idea how long I'm going to do this. It's been 43 minutes, and it's been great. I mean, everybody seems to be enjoying themselves. So I mean, to me, that's the more important thing is that everybody else is enjoying themselves. They're able to have their own conversations. I kind of chime in where I can, and as much of that as I can, considering that I'm a guy that can't walk and chew bubblegum at the same time. And, just kind of roll with it. I mean, this is live after all. And I do have to say, hello, Kathy. And thank you for making me aware of the accident that happened. We were just talking about that, actually. Although you may already know that, and I'm just may be that far behind. Well, I don't think so. It shows that I'm 2 minutes behind on my comments. And hey, Patricia. I was planning on this month, Margaret, as far as going full time in the van, but I was also not expecting it to get as hot this summer as it has to be able to work on the van. And I got a little lazy, I'll be honest with you. I got a little lazy. Well, not lazy, that can't be true because I've been working plenty of overtime this summer. Less motivated, I think that'd be a more correct term. So there was a little bit of that happened. I'm over it now, and maybe in the next couple of months. It's kind of hard to say. I'm just winging it as I go at this point. I don't even set a goal because I know that if I do that, it's just going to be an expectation that I may or may not just disappoint myself with. So I'm just making goals to get little things like the next upper cabinet done. I want to get that done early next month. And the reason why I say that is because I'm thinking next weekend I might paint the van. I might, because it's a 3-day weekend, and I think that would be an opportune time to do that. Thank you, Tammy. I appreciate your kind words, and I also appreciate you being here. So thank you for joining us. Um, let's see. Take care, KAZ. I hope you have a blessed night and sleep well. I can't stand the protests. That's one thing I could definitely go on a long rant about when it comes to the protesting that's been happening. I won't do it, but I could. And I can reveal some serious information that might just open up a lot of eyes when it comes to these protests. But I won't. I'll leave that for the professionals that are far better capable. And actually, the heat. Now that I've gotten the uh, back window to be able to open up a little bit easier in my van, and if I have the doors open, and if I have my swamp cooler going at the same time, like in Madras when it was between 96 and 102 degrees, it really wasn't that bad. I was able to take a nap, and that was it. I mean, the heat was not too bad of an issue, although it did wear me out a little bit. Thanks, Johnny, for coming in. I appreciate it. So I hope you have a good evening as well. And thank you, Jeff. I'm glad to get a little bit of confirmation as far as things going well in this live chat. And let's see. Hey, Lori. I appreciate you joining in, and thank you for watching my videos, as I thank everybody for doing so. It is undeserved. At least I see it as undeserved, but yet people do it anyway. So again, I'm just humbled. What if I get married, but I still live in my van? Well, that's a very good question. I may have to upgrade. But one thing is certain. I would have to be dating someone for the idea of getting married to even become relevant. But realistically, I think if it came to that, it would have to be, there would have to be an early conversation about my living situation and to see where she's at, because I don't know. I mean, it could be that I just turn the channel into the progress of building a tiny home. Or, I mean, I would much rather prefer to live in an RV or a van or something, personally. But, there's give and take when it comes to marriage, and I get that, in any relationship, really. And so I don't know. I mean, I'm not dating anybody, so naturally it's not necessarily something that's on the back of my mind, but ideally I'd want to be in a relationship with someone who is at least open to the idea of a very limited minimalistic lifestyle. So I hope that answers your question. And you're right, Maggie, it has been hot. Although I have friends in the Midwest, and it gets a lot hotter there than it does here, and they have more humidity. So I I'll count my blessings. As hot as it is, I'll count my blessings. Let's see. And not everybody's van dwellers here, Janine. Actually, I don't even know how many of them are, but they all want to watch this silly face, so. You know, Lori, that might be a possibility at some point, going to the RTR. I considered it last year, but I just wasn't ready yet. So, um, let's see. Oh, by the way, excuse me for just a second. Frog in my throat. Okay. Okay, since you asked, Kathy, I'm going to go very lightly into this regard. Some of you may know this about the protests, and perhaps not, but perhaps so. And it pains me to actually mention this, not from the aspect of doing so in of itself, but acknowledging that it is happening and knowing that it's come this far. And I don't even know if I should really say that it's come this far because it's happened in the past. But much of the protesting that you see on the streets, especially in liberal states such as California, and nothing against people who lean toward liberalism. I don't understand why people do, but some people do, and that's fine. I stand for constitutional conservatism, and not everybody does that either. In fact, it drives a lot of people nuts. But much of the protesting that you see is actually being bought and paid for. And that's why there are some things that have gone on that you did not see protesting where you would have normally seen it because Mr. George Soros didn't pull out his giant pocketbook, or someone along the lines of the Democratic Party. And the reason why that frustrates me so much, I mean, I suppose it gets people jobs. It's, I mean, $1,500 a day is a lot of money. And that's what some of them were paid. And of course, they would rally other people who, what it really comes down to is the protesting is not authentic, first of all. In some cases it is, but in probably more cases than not, when we come to do our research about it, and you can see the ads on Craigslist and other places. I've actually personally found them, and offering more than $1,500 a day, and it takes away the authenticity of human rights and human beliefs, first and foremost, and secondly, it causes unnecessary violence. Third, more police than I care to count have lost their lives protecting the freedom to protest when they were protesting against them, the police. And I just think that all the focus is in all the wrong areas when it comes to our human existence, our ability to be a one nation under this great God that we can call our Father. And I think there are far greater things that we need to focus on. We are a privileged society, and people do not realize how privileged we really are unless you actually go overseas and see exactly what they are missing out on and what we take for granted. And that includes every single breath that God has ordained us to take. But that's all I can say about the matter. Okay, let's see how many people I pissed off right now. And good night, Jessica, if you're still watching. And let's see. And thank you, Maggie. Yeah, I almost did get snatched up at one point. Um, it was a little over a year ago at this point. It's actually kind of hard to believe that it's been over a year. Uh, yeah, Chris, we're still going on. I am glad that you came back. And honestly, I don't know enough about the RTR, Janine, to really go into detail about it. But it sounds like Nana is able to take care of that question for you, which is great because I didn't see the question until just now. And Penguin Chick, nice to have you join in. I really appreciate you taking time out of your day to watch me. So maybe one of these days we can meet up and do a little interview together, since Tacoma is only about 40 minutes away. Maybe. A question earlier was asked, what got me motivated to start a YouTube channel? And I'll go into that in a few minutes here. I just want to try to get caught up a little bit on the chat. And Tammy, I recommend it. Band dwelling is it's a completely different experience. Uh, and I'm glad to hear it, Nana, that you're conservative as well. Kathy, nice. Oh, Debbie, I'm glad that it's refreshing for you as well. I'm so far I can I can so far see that I haven't pissed off anybody yet, but I'm still scrolling, so we'll see. Let's see. Desert Diva, I'm gonna have to check out your channel. I'm gonna make a mental note right here. And let's just hope that it doesn't get crumpled up on a piece of paper up there. I am not on a computer right now. I am on my phone because I did not do the proper preparations, because I did not know there were proper preparations to get this live chat going. Let's see. Yeah, George Soros is still, Marcia is still a very active member of the swamp that so badly needs to be drained. Yep, and you're right, Pia. The majority of people who protest in any given city do not reside in that city. It's interesting. I just find it so interesting. Nice to have you back, Jessica. Kathy, you are absolutely correct about your comment on the agenda. There's a reason why I didn't comment on the agenda, and that's because if I did that, oh man, I would feel like I was Rush Limbaugh for a minute. And I don't deserve the right to compare myself to him or anything, but I would, and I wouldn't, because he defines talk radio. But I would certainly feel like a miniature version of him for about an hour and a half, and I think people might get a little bored of me talking about such negative things like that. And it just makes me feel weird to talk about um, things like that. Maybe it's because I'm not used to it yet, but I will say there was a little piece of me that really just kind of came alive talking about the protesting situation. Well, I appreciate that for Van Man, and That's a good point. Nina brings up a very good point. For the RTR, going to cheap RV living, in fact, going to cheap RV living for many, if not all, sorts of questions is a great idea because you have an entire collective of people and their experiences and and whatnot, which they have in their own lives, and so much advice, so much information that one can actually receive from cheap RV living. In fact, maybe we'll make that a little commercial. Brought to you by Cheap RV Living, where all of your questions can be answered by the click of the mouse. cheaprvliving.com. This is not a paid sponsorship. Yeah, unfortunately, you're right, Pia. Most young folks don't understand. And I'm going to leave it at that. Although, I'll tell you what, there are a lot of people, of young people that are willing to listen. So and they've been open to conversation when I talk to them about it. And I just like to plant the seed. And my goal is to possibly, if assuming that I stick around Seattle long enough, my goal is to slowly plant enough seeds to harvest a conservative Seattle. Do I ever see that happening? Absolutely not. But it's a nice goal. Um, I kind of talked about it a little bit earlier. What made me decide to live in my van, and that was to be able to give back more because we're a privileged society and have the comfort of not ever being hungry, and not everybody does. So I want to give to those who don't have that privilege, and hopefully they, through my contributions, along with a multitude of others, and I've actually thought about maybe making a video of like a little goal through Food for the Poor at some point. Maybe we can talk about that in the next live feed because I do plan on doing another one. Trying to, save lives. But I'll go into a little bit more detail on that. I'm trying to get caught up here, and I also promised to answer the question on why I decided to, or what convinced me to start a YouTube channel. I haven't forgotten. You're very correct, Jeff. Yeah. Well, on the phone, it's I don't have the capability of organizing everything on the phone. This is what I get. I can either read comments or not read comments, and maybe there's more to it than that, but I haven't been able to find it. And yes, Nina, you're correct. Our public school system, at least on the coastal sides, has not paid off. I won't say much more about that because. Good night, Suspical. Good night, Jan. It's nice to have you. I am tiptoeing a little bit. It is interesting, Ford Van Man, that we have so many like-minded individuals in one chat. I do find it fascinating, and I find it encouraging. Let's see. Hey, Funky Donkey. I love that name. That is such a fantastic name. Oh, wow. I'm just in awe with that. So, thank you for subscribing. Welcome to the subscriber family, and appreciate you joining in on the chat. I don't know who Aaron Judge is, so I'll have to check that out, Christian. But thank you for that. In fact, I'm gonna make a slight note here so that way I don't forget, because that's something I will forget. Okay, I made my little note. God is in control, but we still have free will. And that's why I think it's important that we all encourage one another to walk in the path, to walk in the Spirit, so that way it is impossible to sin. The question is, how long can we walk in the Spirit? And I don't really, Christian, I don't really do shout outs in live chat, although it sounds like you've given yourself a shout out, so there you go. And the reason why is because, well, for one thing, I like to check out the channel first. Uh, and there are reasons for wanting to do that. And secondly, um, since the live feeds are, they kind of go in different direction as far as the topic of discussion, I like to do, if I ever do shout outs, which I do on occasion, I make them purposeful. And I think I make them beneficial. I could be wrong, but I think I do. And if I do a shout out, I like to do it in a video because then I can focus. I can actually give a description of the person, why they should follow this person, stuff like that. So, but I will check out your channel, and I'm not making any promises, but it sounds like you've already kind of given yourself a shout out. So, you got 40 people who read that message, if not more. Yes, there may be other people who watch it later on. Uh, you might be right, Chan. Maybe one day. Well, I'll be honest, Jessica. She says if I were younger, I would want to live in a van. Um, in my opinion, if your health is in good order and your spirituality is intact, then I don't see why any age is too old or too young to live in a van. And in all honesty, if not a van, then like Maggie just mentioned, a Class C or even a Class B plus, because those are a fairly good size. They're also as safe as one can expect to a certain degree. Because I mean, I know there's always the idea of well, shoot, the only thing that's protecting me is a sheet of metal. That's it from any burglar. But if you really think about it, there's in any home, the front door is only made of wood. You just need an axe. And actually, nowadays, there are ways to make skeleton keys, which make it very easy to mold to any sort of key lock, and so they can get in scot-free. But we won't go there. Do I want to stick around Seattle? Yes and no. I say yes because it's my hometown. But I say no because ultimately what I would really like to do is if my YouTube channel was sustainable financially, which the more active I get, it seems like the more sustainable at this point that it can become. But I still need about at least tenfold what it currently is. And I'm honest about how much I'd be honest about how much I make on a monthly basis or whatever. Of course, you can just find out by going online. It's all public information. But it's if it was sustainable enough, I'd want to travel. I'd want to help people with their van builds or something that is wrong with their RV that I have the ability to fix, and maybe go to some veteran memorial sites, talk about the history of our great nation, which God ordained, and a few other things. But ultimately, it'd be about traveling, serving people, and maybe sharing a little bit of the gospel. So That's what I would ultimately like to do, but I'm far off as far as YouTube goes from being able to do that. And actually, Marcia, that's or Marcia. I guess it depends on which ethnicity or ethnic background. That's how you pronounce it. But Marcia, that's part of the reason why I'd want to go to the RTR is to help people out. So, well, we're back to over 40 people again. And I kind of already explained Funky Donkey about the shout out thing. Maybe I'm just that far. I think I'm just that far behind on the comments. So cancel that. I need to seriously scroll down here. Tammy, I would like to eventually uh, be able to dedicate certain days and certain times for live chats because ultimately I'd like to do at least 2 live chats a week. I think that's ultimately what I'd like to do. I don't know if that'd be possible, but that would be something that I'd like to do. For right now, I'm hoping that I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. I just thought that since I just thought I'd give this a try, and this live feed with a couple of days' notice has been great so far. Oh, how about this? Is that better, Jeff? If I can get this to work right. I've been having to hold it. There we go. Is that better? I hope it's better. Uh, Something is in my pocket. Oh, okay. All right. And now my camera's in the way of me, but that's okay. If it helps you guys out, that's all that really matters. Okay, going. What are my hobbies? That is a very good question. I mean, obviously, van builds are part of my hobbies. Um, I like to sing, as some of you know, uh, which is why I think Jessica Rabbit wants me to do more videos of karaoke, which actually I don't mind doing. I like to I would like to do that so I can critique uh, my singing ability so I know where to improve because there was a time and place when I used to be in a band and I had a much better singing voice than I do now. So I need to get back into it. And one way I can do that is by documenting my performance and critiquing uh, where I need improvement. Another thing that I like to do is study. Some of you know that I like to study scripture. Ultimately, I'd like to be able to give back what information the Lord has presented to me in my studies, and maybe that could be a future on YouTube, maybe not. That's good to know, Jeff, that the live comments vanish away, but um, there's always comments that people can leave afterward. Uh, you know, I don't know if I really helped Deborah Joy out. I mean, I'm the one who uh, seems to have gotten the better end of the deal of like subscribers and whatnot. I mean, of course, yeah, I'm sure that each and every one of you that have come from Deborah Joy's channel would have subscribed anyway had you known about my channel. So it's just the fact that you didn't know about it. I'm convinced of that. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I'm 32 years old, Funky Donkey. Uh, Sometimes I feel like I'm 52. But no. Um, Thanks, Just Hoofing It. I appreciate the kind word there. And thank you for subscribing from Deborah Joy's channel, speaking of. And welcome to the subscriber family. Oh, I guess Funky Donkey was asking Jessica Rabbit. It's rude to ask a woman her age. It's rude. Oh, don't lie to me, Janine. I am not a beautiful person. I'm just kidding. Going down, going down. Yeah, Nana, if you and your husband are able to pull off the RV life, we might have to meet up somewhere. And that potential extends to, well, realistically, everybody. Actually, the Lori asked if she mentioned she missed the beginning. Did someone suicide? No. Well, not that I'm aware of. There was someone who was killed in a drunk driver incident, and the wife is in critical condition. Excuse me, got a frog in my throat. Let's see. And of course, there's the people in Texas that we should keep in our thoughts and prayers. Oh, I think the RTR is in Arizona. Is that right? Uh, you are too kind, natural cancer healing. Wow, I'm still 5 minutes behind on my comments. I need to rush this. So hang on just a moment. And for the time being, enjoy this sponsor from Body Armor, which I don't necessarily condone, but don't mind drinking on occasion. Body Armor. It will help you get the nutrients that you need, the vitamin B12, to get you through your day. And it will not digest through and process through the liver the same way that alcohol does when it comes to most alcoholic beverages. Body Armor, your best friend at $1 a piece. Alice. Glad to meet in person. Alice. I am having the hardest time. I'm having the hardest time remembering where I met you. Maybe that's, I mean, I apologize if maybe my memory is not serving me well. Um, let's see. Why do I look upset? I'm trying to read the chat. I'm trying to catch up because I'm like 5 or 6 minutes behind on the chat scroll here. So I'm just trying to get through that. Well, Sharon, thank you for joining in on the conversation. I wish you the best on your journey to the van dwelling lifestyle next month. And if you don't have a channel, it may be something to consider. And I'm just glad that people like myself and many others have been able to inspire you. Well, Debbie, I might have to actually do something about that. Now, I suppose the one question that I would have, do I want to do the scriptural type discussions on this channel, or do I want to make it on a different channel? That's the question I have to get through. I have to do a pros and cons list, if you will. Oh, let's see. Chris Happy Gamer says, "Tomorrow is my birthday. Can you say happy birthday for me? It would mean the world." Well, you know what? The world is expensive, and I cannot afford to give it, or buy it for that matter. But if it would mean the world to you for a happy birthday, then by all means, happy birthday, Chris. And I hope that your birthday is fulfilling and that it has much purpose involved in it. Because, as you may know, or may know now, every decision that we make in life should have purpose. And therefore, I hope your birthday brings much purpose not only to you, but to many others as well. You found me while watching a City Nomad. Wow. I don't know if he's, I still need to contact Jay. I really do. I do like his channel. He does great work. Let's see. Some of these comments just crack me up. Can I spell iCup? Yes, I can. Am I going to? No. I do not have a girlfriend, Alice, and I mostly reside in the Seattle area. And oh, no, I don't have any children. Some of the music while I was working. Let me think here. Great voice. Was it you singing on some music while you were working? Um, Trying to think about that here. I'm trying to think of the videos that it would have been. Because I know for my 250 subscriber thank you video, I did one of my songs, but that one, my best friend at the time, Devin, was the one who sang in that song. My role in that song was the flute and the bongos, and I did the background uh, baritone slash bass vocals as well. For the 500 subscriber thank you video, that was actually me. That was singing and playing guitar. One of the guitars. Um, Just Hoofing It asks, how long have you been vegan? And a quick disclaimer, sometimes, not too often, but sometimes I do have just the slightest amount of cheese. I don't miss meat, but yeah, I'm still working on that. It's so first of all, I don't consider myself as a vegan because that would be me placing an identity on what I eat. And to me, identity is sacred, and it is special, and it is purposeful. And if something doesn't involve every single aspect of my life, then I cannot uh, rightfully, at least in my opinion, I cannot rightfully consider it as part of my identity. And so I say that I eat a vegan diet, but I don't consider myself as a vegan. Now, that was not necessarily important for me to mention in regard to your question, just hoofing it, but I thought I'd mention that because maybe it could coerce somebody to think about that. Um, it gives that statement purpose, I suppose you could say. But I've been doing it for almost 2 months, minus the cheat here and there, and I've lost, if I remember correctly, 26 pounds, which is just mind-blowing to me. I didn't even know I had 26 pounds to lose. And now I got to go back to the gym so I can gain those 26 pounds back, just not in fat or inflammation. Okay, going back here. Good night, Tammy. I don't know if you're still watching, but I hope you have a restful night's sleep. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know if Ellis was looking for a boy toy or whatever. I don't, whatever. Wow. Patricia says, I have stage 3 breast cancer, had last chemotherapy last Tuesday. I still be going through the journey with God by my side. You know, you are an inspiration, Patricia. Oh, I don't know what happened there, but I think my YouTube app decided to freeze up. So, but back now. So I apologize for that. And good night, Kathy. Hope you have a great week as well. Uh, hey, Jacob's in the house, and I didn't even notice. Sorry, buddy. Didn't mean to do that to you. But by the way, dude, you've got almost 800 subscribers. I'm very happy for you now. Oh, man. Sorry, I'm just trying to get caught up on the chat here from what I lost from my YouTube freezing up, my YouTube app on my phone. Anyway, I'm just going to try to start fresh from here. It looks like I'm mostly caught up. There. Hopefully that's a good angle for everybody. And we've got 13 people back. And all of you that have mentioned that you need to get some sleep, I hope you the best rest of your life and great start for the work week to come. And for the rest of you still hanging on, I'm glad to still have you here. Yes, of course, Jacob. Of course I was saying hi to you. You're a brother of mine. Uh-oh. There we go. I almost lost my connection again. Something must be going on either with the app or with my internet. I should do but I don't know. I'm not sure what's going on there. But I am here because does not anybody see me? Okay, very good. Uh, well, good night, Pia. Glad that I am visible. That would make things rather difficult if I was not. And I need to fix this in such a way that actually shows the good side of my face. But anyway, I hope that works out for everybody. I've got a bit of acne here that I really want to get rid of, and I just don't like seeing it. Oh, yeah, I said you have almost 800 subscribers. Which I think is great. You deserve every single subscriber you have, Jacob. And if you haven't checked out Jacob's channel, he's got a great one. He's a great guy. uh, Chaos Paddlers. You see my dang hair? You want some of this? You want some of this, Chris? It's just a little bit there. Uh, yeah, that's fantastic. Yes, Chaos Paddlers does have a good channel. He puts in a lot more effort to his channel than I have time for. I think part of that's because he's now unemployed. By the way, Jacob, how's oh, okay. Hope that worked. Don't know. Um, Tara asks, how long is my hair when it's down? It is down to the middle of my back. It might be down a little bit further than that now, but I'm probably going to chop off like 2 feet and donate it to Children with Cancer. It's a great organization that actually uses the hair for wigs, unlike some others that sell it. Oh, I forgot my camera's right there. Yeah, I was asking how your job search is going, Jacob. Well, thanks, Maggie. I appreciate that. Hang on, I'm lagging again. I'm lagging again. Something's going on here. I'm going to probably switch to data if this keeps up. I might have to switch to data. I don't know if it's that or if it's just my YouTube app on my phone. I'm not sure. Yeah, I apologize. I don't know what it is. I want to get my laptop set up so this should not happen again. It's slightly frustrating. But Tara, my hair is down to the middle of my back. Maybe slightly longer, but I'm going to chop off 2 feet pretty soon, probably. Uh, let's see. That's awesome, Maggie. That's all. I don't know if I could stand having my hair down to my backside because it already takes, like, I have to wash my hair in sections, and I just, in 3 sections, and I don't want it to be, I don't want to have to wash in like 4 or 5 sections. That's a lot of shampoo. Yeah, just, ladies and gentlemen, we are currently experiencing technical difficulties. Stand by for further detail as we progress through the troubleshooting process of this certain technical situation. And anyway, uh, well, Jacob, I'm going to wish you the best on your opportunities for employment, even if you're not looking right now. I'm uh, I'm confident that you and your ability will be able to find something. Right now, it's not even. I mean, I'm right now on Wi-Fi, uh, Jay Gardner. So I don't know. It must just be the app itself, and that's why I really want to get the laptop working. And I'd also need to get a power converter to switch to from 12 volts to 120 volts if I wanted to use the laptop inside the van. Good night, Alice. I hope you have a good night. And don't worry, there will be more live chats. I mean, especially since people seem to be very interested in them. Um, Jacob, you always have funny videos. I mean, you showed how to catch a fish with your teeth for crying out loud. I mean, who does that? Seriously, who does that? I don't have Super Chat active because of the fact that I'm not using my laptop. I'm just using my phone for the moment. Right now, I don't. All right, right now, it is only the YouTube uh, app that's running because I just restarted my phone. So that's the only thing that's in the background. And I used to be in the tech industry, so I kind of was trying to prep for this so I would not have difficulties. And well, I can only do so much. And since I haven't been in the tech industry for 4 years, 4.5 years, something like that, I'm probably not doing as well as I would have been otherwise. Let's see. And hey, by the way, Jacob, do you have any more Sasquatch or Bigfoot videos coming up? Because I know you were talking about it. Hmm. Jacob does, Maggie, Jacob does great Bigfoot videos. He has one where he's enjoying some beef jerky and working on his camper for his truck, which I don't know if he still has or not. He hasn't. I haven't really seen a video about it recently. Good night, Margaret. It was nice to have you in the chat. And so he'd walk away in this video, and you see Bigfoot coming out of his camper, taking all of his beef jerky, and I was just cracking up the whole time. It was absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's well worth the watch. Hey Diva, nice to have you join on the chat. So welcome. And let's see. You know, the rate that your channel's growing, Jacob, you may just be able to do YouTube full time. You could become the next nomadic fanatic. Actually, well, if that's what you want to do. I know Art wanted to do that for a little while. Um, Apparently, he's having issues, unfortunately. I don't know if I don't think I can block people on here. Um, at least not in the mobile app version. That's another reason why I want to get the live feed working on my laptop so I have a little bit more control with that. Um, so, yeah, I know. I know he is, unfortunately. As I was saying, um, I'm hoping that I have art in my thoughts and prayers, and I'm hoping the best for him and that his situation gets better. I've seen plenty of those ghost hunter shows and movies and whatnot, but I don't know. I think the spiritual realm has many capabilities beyond our how should I put this? Far beyond what we give credit. And I I think demonic activity can come in many different forms. I'll say that, and I think there's more evidence for that than ghosts. But that's just the way that I see it now, and I'm open to consideration otherwise. But that's where I'm at currently. But there was a time when I used to believe in ghosts, and there was there's many things that I used to believe that I believe differently. Uh, and thank you, Diva. I have done singing, although usually I sing between tenor and alto, believe it or not. I've got a 3.5 to 4 octave range, and I I prefer to sing in that range. And I used to have a 5 octave range, but that was a long time ago. And I do agree with you, Nana. Those are demons. Let's see. I'm not sure, Chris, if they're fallen angels, and there's reason, and I can go into probably a 2 or 3 hour discussion on that whole topic of discussion. I mean, the Bible does talk about uh, angels that have fallen and are in Capernaum. At least that's what Jesus called it, in reference to what the Jews would have had an idea of. It was a place in Israel. But as far as them being demons, the Bible is not does not make mention of it. It's kind of a gray area. They could be, but I am not fully convinced. Um, let's see. I sing anything, Maggie, from blues to heavy metal to jazz. I try to stay fairly diverse. A little bit of pop, not too much though. I've even done a rap song once that did not go very well. I don't listen to rap though, so. Has anyone told me that I favor John Travolta? Favor? I don't exactly know what that means. Can I demonstrate my singing? No. And the reason why is because there are other people that rent rooms in this house, and and the family that owns this, well, not family, the married couple that own this house, it's a little late to be able to do that. I try to be considerate. Um, but you can go to one of my previous videos has me sing karaoke at a birthday party for a friend of mine. Her name's Renee, and lovely, beautiful woman who uh, hosted a karaoke party, and I got to be a part of it. And she put up with me recording it. In fact, I think she found it quite comical. I understand, Jacob. I know $50 a month will not is not enough to support a family, but as active as you are, is that $50 a month will turn into $1,500 a month before you know it. And I think where you live, that's at least enough to get by, right? I could be wrong. I know you have a mortgage that you have to pay as well. When am I going full time? I don't have an ideal. I don't have a definite answer. My goal was this month, but I did not anticipate the heat or my lack of motivation to kick in. Both of those are not necessarily an issue anymore. Um, Maybe October? We'll see. I'm not in the biggest rush. I've got other things that also uh, not don't necessarily take precedence, but are a definite priority of mine, like my volunteering and whatnot. So those do take quite a bit of my personal time. But nevertheless, it is going to happen, so you can look forward to it. In the meantime, I still have some build videos that I need to work on, some camping and Madras videos to do, so I've got enough content to keep me busy for a little while. Plus, I have a slew of questions that from various comments of videos that I need to get to, which is why I'm so glad that there are a lot of people that seem to be interested in these live feeds, so I can finally address those questions. And yes, I am into heavy metal, but I tend to lean toward progressive metal because I like metal that actually has music theory involved and not just slashing and growling and screaming and stuff, although I do have quite the impressive metal growl. Uh, you kind of see it in one of my video in that karaoke video, but maybe I'll sing Rob Zombie's Dracula and put on YouTube sometime because that really accentuates my growl. Because I do it a little bit differently than Rob Zombie does. Um, let's see. Old Corn's pretty good. In fact, I need to find a place that, or at least buy the a CDG with Freak on the Leash because they used to do a pretty good job of that song. Although it does have the F word in it. I'm not a fan of swearing. Country is not something that I partake in much. I do sing a few country songs. One of which is God Bless Texas by Little Texas. Um, but that's not to say that there's anything wrong with country. It's just not my cup of tea usually. But there are some good songs that I do enjoy very much. Let's see. Oh, that's what that means. I have not been told that I look like John Travolta. Thank you, Jacob, for that clarification. I've not been told that, but huh, maybe it's the chin strap. Maybe. Yeah, because I don't necessarily see it myself. I mean, I do have pronounced dimples, unfortunately, but I guess a lot of people like them. And the chin strap, maybe that could do it. I'm not sure. Uh, Chris, thank you for joining in on the conversation tonight and bearing with me. I know it was 3 minutes ago that you said it, but if you're still watching, thank you for joining in, and I hope you rest well. Um, let's see. I will play guitar for you at some point, Linda. I will do that at some point. You know, I do like to play the guitar, and I have fingernails for it, obviously. So one of these days. You know, I don't know if I'm familiar with Korn's earlier stuff than the album where Freak on the Leash was on. I am aware that they had an album before they made made it to MTV, but I didn't really get into it. Stop it, Jacob. Stop it. You just stop it. You sexy stud. Okay, that's enough of that. I don't want to get anybody thinking. Let's see. Wait. Yeah, I'm aware that it's called Madras. Did I say Madras again? So I told you I'm notorious for pronouncing things incorrectly, even after being corrected. Do I have abs? Yes, I do have abs. However, they're hidden by the little bit of flab that I have to get rid of because I'm still a little chubby. Not much, but a little bit. And it's hidden by my hair because I have a sweater underneath my shirt. Let's see. I know I'm 3 minutes behind. I'm terrible. I'm only a minute behind now. I lost my man card a long time ago, Janine. I have not even tried to get it back. My comments are not going to make any sense. You're right. Hidden by a 12-pack of beer. The beer, which I do not drink. But I just keep in the fridge in case that one day someone might. Thank you, Tori. I appreciate your comment because I do like to think I do try to be authentic and genuine. And I, you know, I think we could talk about this. Um, I find it, there was a time when I used to put on what's called a mask. And I think you all know what I'm talking about. And, uh, and I apologize if this is not relevant to the comments. And actually, I think it is because I just watched the last one from Tori. Um, Take care, Tammy. Thank you for joining in on the conversation. But I used to put on what's called a persona to try to people please. And I just find that it's far better and far more appreciated when one just is who they are and just stick with who they are. And you know, the mask thing never works anyway because at a certain point, um, it's hard to keep up with the lack of authenticity, the and not necessarily the lies, but the confliction in one's natural personality. Uh-oh, bad connection again. Uh, but yeah, so I try to be real, authentic, and I want to be nice to everybody. In fact, I want to love everybody the way that Christ loved me, and that's to well, be willing to die to self and for others. Even and that doesn't necessarily have to be death. It can simply be inconveniencing myself. Take care, Jacob. Appreciate you joining in, and I wish you the best of success on your adventure fishing. Let's see. Love you too, brother Jacob. Up is the opposite of down, funky donkey. That is up. And if you want to know what down is, then the question really is, what does it mean to be down? Yeah, Deborah is a super lady. I have very high respect for Deborah. In fact, I was not even expecting that she was going to mention my channel in one of her videos, and I saw the day that we were going to meet up. I started to see a little bit of growth activity that happened a little bit more than usual. I thought it was odd, but I didn't think much of it until later on, and then that's just when the surprise hit me. Um, let's see. But I very much appreciate uh, I very much appreciate Deborah for being who she is and taking the time to meet with me. Um, as far as how to go live, I'm using my phone for the time being because the YouTube app has a natural uh, function. It just has a function built in it to do the live chats. You actually have to go through some rigmarole to get a laptop or a computer to do the live function. You have to install an encoder and stuff. I haven't done any of it yet, so let's see. Yeah, one of the things that I actually really enjoy about Deborah is that uh, she doesn't do much, if any, editing. Like I go through all this fancy stuff to make my videos look nice. She doesn't do any of that, and she's rather successful. Um, let's see, what does Tara say? Down is depression and the realization that every human is selfish in nature. There are some who look back. When you look at them, those are special people. Maybe, I don't know. That's one aspect of down. Although, I would say, now, is that down in of itself, or is that the consequence of down? So something to think about. And if you're asking me what my name is Garrett. And I do mention that in most of my videos, I think, now. Um, let's see. Let's see let's see if I can make this work here. Actually, I might be able to do this. Hang on, folks, just a second, folks. There. John's in timeout for the time being. So, I am caught up on the chat comments again, which is good for the time being. We'll see how well that works. What I find is if you just don't pay attention to some of the trollish comments, they tend to go away. But I can put them in timeout, it's no big deal. How would I explain down? I would explain down as an opportunistic position. And what I mean by that is it's much the same as there is such a thing as good and evil. Now, both of those are positions, and each one has consequential results based on decisions that we make in life. And so down would actually be a position based on based on the perspective that one chooses to hold. And as a result of that consequence, and the trailing consequence of that which is down, you get such things as depression. But if that is because of human nature and the fall and the ways of fallen man, as we are just dust from the ground, as the Lord remembers, that would mean that it's actually the consequence of the fall of man and our selfishness that causes us to decide to be depressed, when in all reality there's something else that can actually be done about it. And that's one very slight, just scratching the surface on what could potentially be explained as down. Of course, that's also a direction. Okay. Wow. Okay, apparently I am over 1,400 subscribers now. Thank you, everybody. Well, I hope that helps you out, Tara. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily mean to blow your mind. Um, I tend to think about things a lot. See, I have a job that has a lot of repetition, so it gives me a lot of time to meditate on a specific thought or a specific scripture or whatever have you. So, um, my thought process just goes out the window sometimes, and there are times when it can just go way overboard. And man, this has just been a lot of fun to have this live feed with all of you. I feel undeserved of such a great time like this with such loving people. Do I have a wife? No, I am a single individual, a single man, or as I think the No, I'm not. I'm not going to say the joke. Take care, Janine, and I hope you rest well, and I hope you feel better in the morning. Uh, Interesting. How about now? Does it look like I'm looking into your soul? I couldn't help it. Sorry. That's a very good point, Tumbleweed. Considering the source of the negative contribution one has in regard to words, it's like wearing the shoes. It's like wearing the other person's shoes before taking into consideration judging them. I just realized that I'm probably in your chat path, right there. I think that's might be better. Uh, this is not staying still. I'm going to try to prop it with one of my cameras here. Yeah, consider the source, because there are people out there that uh, feel like they need to be negative to feel better, and unfortunately, it's a hard road to live. And thankfully, it's easy. It can be overcome. I've been there, unfortunately. I think most people go through that phase, but still, when I look back on it now, no, I'm not in a halfway house. But when I look back on it now, I just can't see myself being like that. It's strange. Do, 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 do. But if the Lord wills for me to be married one day, I know it'll happen. Right now, it's just not a high priority. Um, maybe one day. And speaking of which, Nana, I always find it encouraging when when I hear about successful marriages, because it seems like society likes to focus on the unsuccessful ones, which is rather unfortunate. Um, but it's much easier to focus on the negative than the positive sometimes, I suppose. Uh, yeah, I see that he is, and so long as he behaves, he can stay off timeout, I suppose. Um, Tara, I am 32 years old, so let's see. That's true. Words have no power unless you allow it. Just like, and this, not everybody's going to agree with this, I'm sure. And thank you, John. I appreciate it if you would. Um, but I find such things as depression can be overcome simply by cognitive, uh, cognitive uh, thoughts and prayer. I think it's one of those things where, so long as one is able to assess it, analyze it, and release it, it can be successfully overcome. Be nice, Christian. Um, let's see. All right, Tumbleweed. I will hopefully still be here. I do need to make myself something to eat, so I might have to put a pause on it, or just allow you guys to chat while I make myself my supper. It's all right, Christian. Don't worry about it. Have fun taking your dogs out, Tumbleweed. and we might still be here. Uh, by the looks of it, 25 people still here. And speaking of still here, there's Sound Guy. How you doing, bud? I'm glad you can make it. And you may be late, but better late than never, right? And I don't eat meat, Christian, but I will probably make myself. I've been getting into uh, the vegan burritos lately, so it's and Funky Donkey. If we can keep um, the cursing to a minimum, that would be greatly appreciated. So, Sign Guy, how are you doing? As I hope business is going well for you. It's fine. It's fine, Funky Donkey. I like to try to keep the positive atmosphere and uh, keep the vulgar language to a minimum because I don't like it when people are offended, and that includes yourself. I don't like it when anybody's offended, but sometimes being offended is actually a good thing. It keeps one thinking, and it gives one an opportunity to self-evaluate. Why am I offended by this, for example? And there might be some hidden discovery there. The stoned ape theory. I'll have to actually get back to you on that, Dara, because I will elaborate on that. I have not done enough research on it, on the theory itself. Uh, Thank you, Sign Guy. I've mentioned a couple of times about the prayers to everyone in Texas. Uh, Apparently, there's a reference to the turkey sandwich I don't get, so maybe I'll have to get on that. Uh, it's actually Patricia. I'm gonna actually have it in my Royal Arch Park camping video. But the vegan burrito, what I had is an organic whole wheat tortilla, and I don't know if it had gluten in it or not. I don't think it did, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to watch my gluten intake. In fact, I'm trying to eliminate it. But so I had an organic whole wheat tortilla. Um, excuse me. I used red kidney beans for protein because it's a great source. Avocados, mild salsa, shredded organic carrots, and some organic spinach. And I just wrapped it into a burrito, and it was fantastic. Um, you might be right, natural cancer healing. Okay, Funky Donkey. I'm sorry, buddy, but I'm gonna have to put you in timeout and give you some time to cool off, and then uh, we can reassess afterward. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to make anybody dizzy here. Uh, do I like Marilyn Manson? Not really. I like some of his covers. He does great covers, but I just definitely not into his music videos. Uh, and definitely not into his lifestyle. Yeah, beans are a great source of protein. And yeah, I haven't gone completely raw. I don't. That's a dedication, Nana. That would be tough for me as well. Vegan Christian is someone who eats a completely plant-based diet. Hey, Blue Angel, it's nice to have you join in on the chat. I know you were saying that you weren't sure if you were going to be able to make it, so I'm glad that you were able to make it. It means a lot, just like each and every one of your comments and everyone else's comments, equally. Uh, I don't mind you. I don't mind Christian that you're a kid on here, and that doesn't bother me in the least. I'm just asking that everybody uh, be on their best behavior. What do I think about the government? Oh boy. I will say this, just to be brief and as non-controversial as possible about my opinion on the government. I think the focuses, not all focuses, but I think many focuses of the government are headed in the wrong direction and against the desires of the people. And I think it is has far too much power. I believe in small government, big people, just like the founders did. And I think Trump has a lot of potential to drain the swamp, as he puts it, and putting things at least closer to where they were originally. Now, he's not a conservative by any stretch of the imagination, but I know he sees that there's a lot of waste, and I would have to agree with him. And hey, Claire, it's nice to have you here. I saw you make comments earlier, and I just didn't say hi, and I apologize for that. But yes, probiotics and prebiotics are equally important, and there's many ways of getting them, including kombucha. I used to brew kombucha. Donald Trump is the president of the United States, Christian. I don't know where you're from, so I thought I'd just answer that. Uh, so anyway, I think that's probably as far as I want to go as far as my opinion of the government. I think the more liberal it's become, the more dangerous its potential has become. He is Trump. You're right, John. I think Trump is actually doing a lot of great things that the media is not covering. Of course, that's only to be expected because the media is the Democratic, is the wheels of the Democratic Party. In fact, it runs the Democratic Party as far as I'm concerned. Because it seems like everything that the media talks about, the Democrats and in the government, that is, seem to focus on. And Blue Angel, I know I'm getting a little bit behind on the comments. I'm trying to keep up. I wish you the best as well, and a great evening. And sorry to hear that the feed is a little slow, and it might be. I'm running this on my phone, which I don't know how reliable it can be, and that's why I want to get my laptop set up for it. That way, this should be more easily avoided. And you're definitely right, Maggie. Each state should individually have their power. We're United States, not the board, if you're a Trekkie. We're not one single entity. We are a group which forms into that entity. to put it best. Okay, I'm glad you know who Trump is. Uh, and Trump is doing the best he can with what he can do. Now, our Congress, on the other hand, I'm little. I'm a little less disappointed in the House, but the Senate is just ridiculous right now. Let's see. Well, I don't know if I can say that the media is evil, but it's misrepresenting many things and focusing on many of the wrong things. But there may be some truth to what you say. Um, don't worry about it, Funky Donkey. Nothing to forgive, just trying to keep things in moderate perspective. So don't take it personally. I'm just want to keep things positive. And Maggie, you'd be surprised. Probably good. At least a third of the people of the United States that voted for Trump are conservative. So it's definitely refreshing but it's always refreshing to talk with people of the same um, perspective, same mindset. I enjoyed talking with you as well, Linda. I hope you have a great evening, and there will be more live chats to come. So thanks for joining in. And yes, John, the media is bought and paid for. We talked about that a little bit earlier. I will keep this live feed available to watch later, and you'll be able to see that. I don't remember exactly when I said it, but somebody asked, so I talked about it. The media has their own agenda, and the Democratic Party seems to follow that agenda. Did I get bullied in school? I did, actually, till I started weightlifting, and that's a whole nother story. But yeah. I do not watch sports, Christian. I used to. I used to be into football, but uh, um, my interests seem to sway away from sports in general. And let's just face it, ESPN has become far too um, liberally political, and same with the NFL, and it's just not worth it in my opinion anymore. Just completely gone away from its original purpose. Can I do push-ups? I can't. Am I going to? No, I am not. Maybe in a video one of these days, but definitely not now. Hey, welcome back, Tumbleweed. We are still here. We are still on the air. My stomach is telling me to feed it pretty soon, but I will hold on a little bit longer at least. Now, violence is not the answer, at least in regard to bullying. Although violence does have a purpose in life, and unfortunately, it's not the intended solution, but sometimes it's a last resolve. And it's unfortunate, but it is the result of the fall of man. I do not watch Teen Titans. I've heard of it. Don't really know what it's about. Good night, Debbie. When was that? That was a minute ago. So if you're still watching, have a good night. Um, and I am glad that you were able to join in on the live chat. I will make an announcement for the next one because I don't have a set day or time yet for these live conversations. So I will give at least a day or two's notice for everybody. And I'd like to keep these. I'm hoping that the live chats will always be at least an hour long, but they may not always. So um, let's see. That's true. You all can talk amongst yourselves. um, let's see. Let me first get caught up, and then once I do take off, well, I don't know if I'm actually going to go back through the chat log. I think all of you will be able to. Okay, I think I'm going to put you in timeout, buddy. Sorry, but some information is not necessary. And fasting is good for managing appetite. I do fast on occasion. Typically not for that particular purpose, but it is a nice secondary. And we'll be looking forward to you, Debbie, in the next live feed as well. Did I miss saying hello to somebody? Oh, I must have. Hi, Valerie. Nice to have you join in. And, well, I think since I can talk about our forefathers, I think I will do that on another feed, though. I like my shirt, my dirty, stained, painted shirt. It's one of my work shirts that I'm going to get rid of pretty soon. But I'm going to go fix up something to eat real quick, and I'm going to leave the chat to you guys. So um, hopefully uh, you all can stay entertained while I'm gone. Well, actually, I know you guys can stay entertained while I'm gone. I'm only just a minuscule part of this live feed. It's mostly about you guys. So, oh yeah, you're absolutely welcome, Claire, for the solar clip shots. I'm just glad that I was able to do you guys a service by doing that. Oh, is there? Okay. Thanks for letting me know, Bilby. I'll look into that and see what I can do about that. Thanks for letting me know. Anyway, I'll be back, guys. Hey everybody, I'm back. Okay, apparently I do have something to come back to. Give me just a second, people. Thank you, and appreciate you guys keeping the live feed going without me. I decided to have a quick salad, and now I'm gonna finish it off with some green tea. So I normally don't drink this stuff, but the people that I rent the room from, they're very supportive of my dietary changes and decided to buy this for me absolutely without me expecting it. And anyway, I had a spinach salad um, with avocados and green olives, some mild salsa. I like either salsa or pico de gallo for instead of having some sort of salad dressing, and some like shredded carrots and mushrooms, all organic, of course. And that's about it. So, no big protein because I'm going to bed pretty soon, and I didn't want to wake up with that weird feeling of not all my food digested. So, a little bit of protein, but not a huge amount. No, it's not pear juice. It's green tea. Here, I'll give you a better shot of it. I'd much rather have a an organic green tea, but there's nothing in here that I don't understand in the ingredients. So I'm thank you, Patricia. Since I don't have to be a chemist to understand what is actually in this, I think it's at least reasonably safe. So so I don't know exactly what I missed out on, but I have a feeling there'd be too much to actually um go back and reread. You might be right. There might be uh, glyphosate in this, and I don't know much about glyphosate. Obviously, you know you've done a lot more research and know a lot more about it than I do. But you know, I don't like to turn down a gift. I thought I did block him. I'm pretty sure I blocked him. Oh, I guess it doesn't work quite that way. I forgot. If I block, it just means that I can't see his messages anymore. Now I have to actually. I think that's the best thing to do is just report it as spam. Um, dark chocolate specifically, Claire. And yes, you were correct. Um, Anyway, I need to look into more into. I need to look more into that, Kathy. But you are correct. I think I do need mods. Well, good morning, my Cebu friend. I see that you're back. You can ask a question, Christian. Yeah, sadly, I'm only using my cell phone um, to do this live feed until I get my laptop set up, which will happen at some point. Um, Hopefully during by the next live feed. But if Christian has a question, more than happy to answer. All right, hurry back, Maggie. I have an Android phone. Let's see. Have you sent me a message? I need to check my personal messages. I almost never look at my private messages. And thank you for subscribing. And how you doing, Nighthawk? Nice to see that you're still surviving out there in the real world. And I'm also glad to see that you're making it through Hurricane Harvey. It's a mess out there. So, but I definitely had you in my thoughts when I first heard about Hurricane Harvey. It's really something. Was the rain as bad as they said it was going to be, Nighthawk? Yeah, according to the news outlets that I do pay attention to, that I find are more credible, there was supposed to be as much as like a foot and a half of rainfall in like a weekend. But I just think that's absolutely crazy. Yeah, lots of flooding, I'm sure. I'm not sure how many places they evacuated, but let's see. Yeah, thank you for reminding me, Christian. I need to look at that video. See the comments there. You're probably right, Kathy. I bet if I did eat, well, I don't know. I mean, you might be right, but I just have a thing about eating in front of a camera. I don't know. Maybe I can build up the courage to do it. Let's see. I know there were a few comments that needed to be addressed. Okay, I won't do a natural cancer healing. For now. For now. Actually, you know what? I might have taken a bite out of the burrito during the camp out in the video. I might have, so just thought I'd forewarn you uh, about that. Oh, funny, 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 funny. See, I wouldn't necessarily chew with my mouth open for yourself, Kathy. I would just do it for the people that are on a seafood diet. I don't know if I am a mod on your channel. What? I don't even know what that's supposed to mean. I might have found the comments. I'm looking. So I'm got a lot of comments to look through, so it's taken me a minute. Well, I know it means a moderator, but I don't know if that means that I'm supposed to sift through each and every comment and whatnot. I'm not sure. I don't. I honestly don't know how that works. All right, thanks, Mike. Have a great rest of your evening, and I wish you the best. And I'll either text or call you later. So thanks for messaging me. Well, thank you, Maggie, for being such a great participator to this live stream, and that goes to everybody really. And and I wish you a good night. I'm still searching through my comments here. Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, goodness, Rick. Maybe I'll just have to go through. Oh, Tumbleweed. I think I did mention this, but perhaps you missed it, or maybe I just answered it in my head. I don't know. But the reason why I don't have Super Chat active is because I don't think I can do that from my phone here. Uh, I plan on having it activated once I'm able to live chat from my laptop. So, Christian, have yourself a good night. Thank you for the kind words, and I and thank you for joining in on the live chat, and inspire somebody else to do something great as well. I don't really know much about Super Chat. I could read off what it says, but I just know that you can like put advertisements in there and people can choose. Or I really don't know much about it. I'm not going to pretend like I know what it is. Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely have that activated. Uh, I'll have it activated for when I do live streams on my laptop, which I definitely need to make a priority, really. I'm still trying to find um, any other comments that I might have missed. I think I might have got them all. Yeah, I think I got them all. If I didn't, then well, hopefully I'll find them eventually. But yeah, that's that. Good, good. I don't want to have negative comments on my channel. I mean, if they happen, they happen. Well, you know what? I really appreciate that. I mean, I do work full time, but I would, well, as I mentioned, there are other things that I would like to do, and what I would really like to do pretty soon, actually, is oh, that's why they took the donate button away. I never activated it, but I was thinking about doing it. And I couldn't find it, so that's good to know. Um, but what I want to do pretty soon, and maybe we can talk about this in the next live chat, is is do some sort of charitable thing, like for Food for the Poor, somewhere where they actually use the money really well. Uh, Jacob, that's funny. But yeah, maybe that's something we can talk about later on. You know, and Kathy, you were absolutely correct. The bigger my channel gets, the more likely that there will be trolls. And I'm not bothered by it, but you know, what do you do? I can't control what they do. So, and Tumbleweed, that's very kind. That's a very kind thought. Like I said, I'm gonna definitely try to get this going. Hopefully by Wednesday. I would like to actually do another live chat on Wednesday, possibly. Well, I made a little bit more than 4 cents with AdSense. In fact, I can tell you how much I've made. Let's see. Simply because it's public information. I mean, so just within the last 28 days, my estimated revenue is $65.95. And I don't mind sharing that because you can find out what it is anyway. So, oh, sorry. I know my internet went kind of, or my connection went kind of iffy. And you can find this out, Jacob, in your what did you call this thing? Studio? Your creator studio? Yeah. Good night, Claire. Thanks for joining in. Appreciate you, and I hope you sleep well. I don't have ads set to play on this live feed. I can't do that from the phone, unfortunately. But that's another reason why I want to get it done on the laptop for connectivity reasons and also for uh, ads and whatnot. So it's but at any rate, so my estimated revenue for the last 28 days so far is $65.95. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much all of my videos should have ads on them at this point. I did not put ads on the announcement for this live feed simply because, I was planning on taking it down once we did this live feed. But yeah, that's the goal, Kathy, is to let this channel grow because ultimately I'd like to be able to travel and to help people with their van builds and make videos of that process and, simply do the Lord's work, whatever that looks like. Gotcha. It's good to know. Yeah, I'm gonna work on that. There's no question about it. But it is 9:38 p.m. for me. I have to be up by 4 o'clock in the morning, so I want to thank each and every one of you for attending. This has been a fantastic turnout, and and that's true. I am going to help Jacob with his slide camper. Okay, Christian. Um, yeah, it was great chatting with all of you, and thank you very much, all of you, for the awesome time. This went on a lot longer than I was expecting, so that's just fantastic. So go ahead and well, why not? Let's just do this. As always, thank you all for watching. Take care. Love those as you love yourself, and I'll see you next time. Maybe Wednesday.